Hi, how are you doing today? My name's Stacy and welcome to Sacred Enzyme. This morning I would like to talk some more about some of the topics that I've been going into. I haven't done many videos, but you got to start somewhere. But what I was talking about in my last video was the effects of the overload of phosphorus on the body and how too much phosphorus introduced into the body creates a whole domino effect starting in our gut that can lead to chronic health conditions such as dementia, cancer, heart disease, even diabetes, because diabetes is your body's filter. So what I'd like to talk today about is more on that subject, and I made some notes here so I stay on track. But what I wanted to talk about is how there have been some studies done, and one of the studies goes in depth on how the genetic problem of this MTHFR variation is one thing, that it's being passed down generation after generation, but our diet has so much to do with it. But the study was talking about how actually schizophrenia patients showed that this particular enzyme process is not happening. It's not happening because there is a buildup of cysteine in the body. Now remember, I was talking about in my last video, and if you haven't and you're just clicking on this video for the first time, I encourage you to go and watch my last video. It breaks down the process of how our body creates too much cysteine. And cysteine is triggered by the fact that everything is starting in our gut. Everything is starting in our gut, in an area of the gut called the fundus. And in the fundus is where our food is introduced into our stomach, and then this area of the stomach creates hydrochloric acid, and hydrochloric acid is essential because it breaks down toxins in our food. Okay, and the problem is that there's too much toxins. There's too much toxins in the food. And so you can go and read online about these studies. It will absolutely blow you away. They're finding out more and more things, information, and just proving how important our diet is to our brain health, and the toxins that are being introduced to our body in a myriad of different ways is causing this effect. And if we want to be healthy and be the best version of ourselves, that we have got to look at our diet, and we have to look at everything that is being put in, on the body, even your dental care. We have to really be looking at the ingredients that are in our foods. We need to be reading labels, and we need to understand what the words are on the labels. You literally feel like you have to be a scientist to read a product label of stuff that you're putting in your body. You should not have to be a scientist to turn a label turn a label over and read the ingredients, and you should be able to understand everything that's in that. If you got to take out your phone and you got to Google search what something is that has a bunch of letters, L's and Y's and I's, one after the other with dashes, you got to look that up. That's probably something we shouldn't be eating. And see, what the problem I think is that companies have been trying to accommodate consumer desires. And in doing that, and it's become such a fast-paced process, that convenience, we have become in such a hurry. We are hurrying and hurrying and hurrying and hurrying, hurrying all the time. I mean, you can't even go anywhere in a car without someone driving insanely fast. Everyone is in a hurry. People have to be to work. We have kids to take care of. We have so many things to do. We have so many commitments, and it's stress, and we've got to rein it in. We've got to rein it in. the biggest thing that is causing these nervous responses is the brain, right? We're getting overwhelmed. Oh my gosh, we just have 100 things going at once. We got to get the kids to ball practice. We got to have groceries. We've got to have dinner. And then how many times have you personally went to the store and got dinner, and then by the time you got home, you were so tired and it seemed so late that you ended up stopping and picking up food on the way home with a car full of groceries? Now, I know I've done it before. But I don't do it anymore. And the reason I don't do it anymore is that I have calmed my mind down by changing my diet a little at a time. Now, some people are able to just really gung-ho into it, and when I really make up my mind about something, I can stick to it. But I have to tell you that I have spent my whole life as an overweight kid and an adult, and there is so much to obesity that is misunderstood. And one of the things that I have to say is that trauma, shadow work, and obesity go hand in hand. The trauma responses that happen in the body from stress causes your adrenal glands to not function properly, which can also create higher levels of cysteine in the body. When your enzymes aren't working right because you've become traumatized, your first response is going to be in your gut. Have you ever been scared and your stomach just turned into a knot, right? That's why I say that your stomach is so much more than just an organ. It is literally responsive, because you can have so many reactions of emotions in your stomach. And the other thing is the emotions that are also tied to our reproductive organs, sex organs, or reproductive organs. They're also very intertwined with our emotions. Have you ever had a headache and it took you right out of the mood? Or have you ever been too tired? Or have you ever had an argument with your significant other and they want to make up and you're like, what? These things aren't working when this thing's not working, right? Exactly. Or you went to your doctor because you're having a lot of anxiety and they put you on antidepressants. And then you noticed after you took them that you lost your performance ability or your stamina, right? So the brain is intertwined with the stomach, is intertwined with the reproductive organs. So this goes to show you just how important all systems are in our body, that they're working right, and we got to nourish them. But everything comes through the mouth and goes to the gut first, right? Or it comes through the skin and goes into the body. And so that's the second thing that I want to talk about, is I want to talk about the use of personal care products. Now, personal care products, you would think, shouldn't be as important as what you're eating, but it is. And the reason that it is because our skin is the biggest organ on our body. And they've just realized that this is an organ. And one of the reasons that they realized that was because of the fabulous work of Roger Spurr at Mud Fossil University. He discovered fossilized remains, and if you go to his channel, you can learn all about it. But in doing so and having those done, genetically tested and looked at by experts in different areas of the field of human study, they came to realize that there is a fluid-filled pathway called the interstitium, which is the outer layer, and that the skin is an organ, and that whatever goes through that skin penetrates your body. This is your first form of defense against toxins. So if you're just lathering on body lotion or face cream or makeup, ladies, you are beautiful just the way you are. And dads, please encourage your daughters to realize that they are more than just a pretty face, but let them know how beautiful they are from the inside out. It is so important that we start building our kids up, not by giving them awards for coming in second place, but encouraging our children to just be their unique selves. And it's okay. It's okay. They don't have to be what everybody else is doing. They don't have to go with the crowd, go with, what's in style. Be unique. Be your own artist. Paint your own picture. And let them become and flourish into being their own self. And one of the things that I have to say, and this is my personal opinion, is that moms really, they got to work with dads, and they've got to work with reining in all of this material living, because it is destroying our children. We cannot keep living in a material world and having our kids be the best version of themselves, because they're spending too much time on the internet. They're raising themselves and they're spending their free time with themselves and not in a family unit, because we've lost the village. We've stopped being a village, right? We stopped having all the grandparents involved. We stopped having good, honest neighbors involved. We've stopped holding everybody in check in our families when they F up, or when we have those people that are falling off, that are, doing things that they shouldn't be doing. It's our job as families to be support systems, especially for each other when we have little ones. Little ones need guidance, because if they don't get guidance from the people that are supposed to be loving and protecting them, they will seek it out somewhere else. And girls need their dads, and boys need their moms, and boys need their dads, and girls need their moms. And they need them to be there and present and not distracted because they're worried about how many pictures they could post on Facebook of themselves showing off things, and they're just not even portraying the real version of themselves. They're sitting there in a fake reality when they could be just investing time doing things at home or with family and friends and their children. We've really got to get out of the material world. But we've got a lot of young girls that are piling on makeup. I see it all the time. I see like 12-year-old kids with a face full of makeup on. And I'm thinking, what? Why are girls worried about that? Why are they so self-conscious? But in doing so, they're putting all kinds of things on their face. And there are 3 main ingredients that are the culprit in these beauty and personal care products that are going through the skin and overloading the body. Now, we have to remember that 45% or more of the population in the United States has an MTHFR enzymatic deficiency. And when that happens, when you're born with that genetic predisposition, you are more sensitive to toxins. Now, sensitivity can be in a lot of different ways. You can have a baby that's sensitive to formula, milk, has food allergies at a very young age. Also, digestive problems, is one sign, even if they're not showing outward signs of food allergies. Or, slow learning is also a sign of inflammatory brain response. So, when you have children, that's inflammation starting in the gut. But the 3 ingredients, and they can be passed on in vitro as well. See, this is why I'm talking about babies, because when we're pregnant, we have a tendency to be, especially when we're younger women, we're really worried about losing our skin's elasticity. We're worried about having stretch marks from kingdom come, because when we're younger, we're more self-absorbed in our appearance. So we might be going to the counter all the time, the Bath and Body Works and the other places, you know, that we go to, Victoria's Secrets and Walmart, and we're getting lotions and we're putting them all over our bellies and all over our arms because we don't want these bat wings like I have. But I earned these bat wings. But there are ingredients in those products, and it's methyl. Remember I said a lot of Y's and L's and I's and dashes? Well, it's methylparaben. And it's butyl, B-U-T-A-L, almost like brutal, right? Paraben. And propyl paraben, which is P-Y-L, pretty much means it's something alcohol. Well, what these things are is they're all preservatives. You know, they're trying to extend the shelf life on these products. They're trying to keep them from not, you know, separating or becoming, you know, have you ever had an old tube of lipstick that had a weird smell, you know, because it went bad. But if you'd like to look up online, or if you've ever worked in a grocery store, or you've managed a grocery store, and they have a truck that comes and picks up all the meat trimmings, and it's buckets, it's huge, it's huge tubs and bins full of fat trimmings off of meat. It all gets dumped into these bins and barrels, and these trucks come and pick them up, and it's putrid, rotten fat trimmings with pieces of meat still stuck on them, and they take all that stuff and they make personal care products with it. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. I asked the man that came to pick it up one time, many years ago, when I used to work for a supermarket. And, you know, recycling is important. Recycling is important. But using a lot of anything or too much of a good thing is never good. So you have to be very mindful. Please read the labels. When there are labels on there that have, you have to whip your phone out so you can even understand what it is. If it's not natural, don't use it. And better yet, you know, even with your deodorant or your soap, you can go online and you can look at really easy ways that you can make that stuff yourself and probably make it much better, you know, and look at putting some things in from your garden into your soap, you know, if you're a gardener. But, you know, just use of your personal care products. Let's be more mindful, more mindful. You know, there's a lot of, ladies, there's a lot of natural things like yogurt and egg whites and things like that you can mix up and put on your face. And it's great. But I do have one type of product that I do highly recommend. And I'm not asking for sponsors, or I'm not asking anybody, telling anybody you should go out and buy this. But this is just a very all-purpose product that I personally highly recommend. I've been using it for a long time, probably 30 years. Sometimes it's hard to find, but maybe if more people start using it again, they would start carrying it in more places. But it's called Hot 6 Oil, and it is all natural. And anybody that knows me personally knows that I love this stuff. I buy it at Sally's. It is all natural, and it's an oil. This never has a chance to go bad in my house. All my kids use it. My husband uses it. I use it. You can use it on your hair for a hot oil treatment. You can use it on your skin. It is fantastic for your skin. You can keep a bottle of this in your shower. And when you're taking a shower and you shampoo your hair, you can put some of this on while you lather your body, and then do a light shampoo after and a condition. And then while that's doing, you can put this all over your body after you soap up, and it has a chance to soak in while you're, you know, rinsing your hair. This stuff is great. It works great on your feet. You can use this in other ways, and I'm not going to get too explicit, but you know, when I talked about the solar plexus chakra, and I was saying that if you don't lose your reproductive organs, you lose them. This is a great oil. And it doesn't have any chemicals in it. It's just all natural oils. And so this is stuff that comes from nature. And, you know, like Woody Harrelson says, if it doesn't come from nature, he doesn't use it, he doesn't eat it, he doesn't drink it. But I believe it's the same way if it doesn't come from nature. But also we have to be, we have to be mindful of when we're going and we're buying something, the stuff that's being put in there that we don't realize. You know, when we go to buy our shampoo or our deodorant, we just think that, we just automatically trust that all this stuff is safe. But we have to understand that these chemicals, after long-term use, are not good for you. Just like pharmaceutical medications, after a while, sometimes, your doctor will change your prescription or something like that because it stops being effective. So maybe we have to look at the longevity of how long we should be using particular products or consuming, and also how important it is to have a variety of things, especially in our diet, when our fruits and vegetables are all different colors for all different reasons, because we have these energy zones in our body and they require nourishment. So with that note, I just want to wrap this up, but I want to show you a supplement. This is called NAC, and I have 2 bottles here that I wanted to show you because I do talk a lot about cysteine in our body, and this is an enzyme that processes cysteine, and it's called N-acetylcysteine. And when our enzymes in our stomach, first we have enzymes in our mouth, and so it's very important for you to take care of your oral health, and also be careful of what you're eating and putting in your mouth, because we have a lot of enzymes in our mouth. And that's why it was always, I don't know how old you are, but when I was little, my parents would always tell me, make sure you chew your food up good. Don't eat too fast, right? When you eat fast and you don't chew up your food, well, they tell you it gives you gas. But besides that, when you're not chewing up your food all the way, 24 chews is the holy number, I think, if I remember from watching a guru. But the enzymes are in your mouth as well. These are precursor to what's happening here. So they're breaking this down, and when you put those into smaller chunks, you're getting a chance of those saliva enzymes to really get that food going, and then it goes to the gut. And then when it gets into your fundus, the fundus portion of the stomach, it has a better opportunity to work there. It's not having to work so hard. It's like when you put better gas in your car, that engine has a little bit of a better time because there's not so much impurities in the gas, right? So when we're getting it in the stomach, that it has more opportunities. But we're having the breakdown is happening. It's happening between our mind, because we're making not very good choices, and then our mouth, because we're putting it in there, and then our stomach, because it's going from our mouth into our stomach, and we are damaging our fundus. And so these areas are not doing the jobs that they need to do to keep us at our optimal health level. And so NAC, you'll often hear me talk about cysteine, and I'll say it's NAC. And, some people may go search for this. If you do your research online and speak to your doctor. My dad, he is on blood thinners, and he also, of course, this is where I got the MTHFR genetic problem from, is my dad and his family. There was a lot of intermarrying in my dad's line way back in 16 and 17. Up to the 1800s, let's see. Yeah, up to the 1800s, they said there was no better spouse for a Randolph than another Randolph, which is a disgusting joke, but still, it is what it is. I can't do anything about it, but it happened. So anyway, I'm dealing with that, just like we're all dealing with the things that our ancestors did, right? We're having to clean up our health. We're having to clean up the world. We're having to clean up our universe. We're having to clean up our state. We're having to clean up our city. We're having to clean up our towns, our provinces. We're having to clean up everything. It's our job, and it's our job right now. So this, my dad is able to take enzymes. My mom, I made her a list, and she spoke to my dad's doctor 2 days ago. And so my dad is now taking digestive enzymes. He's also taking quercetin, which helps with cardiovascular health because my dad has COPD. He also is cancer-free. He had a stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and he also lived a lifestyle with high exposure to toxic chemicals, working at Mosaic Industries, which used to be Cargill Industries, which used to be Procter & Gamble. And these companies, they deal with the fertilizer industry. And also, when you work in these environments, you should always be wearing personal care protective equipment. You should be covering your face and covering your skin. And also you should be showering at work. For you men who work in the industry, do not come home in your dirty uniforms. And if the plant that you work at does not offer a shower, you need to be demanding from your human resources department that get addressed. That is very important. You cannot be bringing these toxic chemicals home on your uniforms to your family. You're introducing them to your water table, your water supply. You're introducing them into your washing machine. And if you have a spouse and children, okay, where's your water draining from your washer? Is it going in your yard? Is it going in your septic tank, to your drain field, to your yard? Right? We have to think about the cause and effect of these traveling chemicals, these traveling toxins from these places of business. And the people that work there, they're being exposed and they're carrying them home. So, keeping our enzymes working properly to detox this stuff out is super important. But the glutathione in our body is not working right. And so when your glutathione levels are not right, you're having higher elevated cysteine, and cysteine levels that are too high affect your brain. Inflammation. When you have inflammatory response in your body, you're in trouble. You can't even think straight. These kids have ADHD because their brains are inflamed. And then they sit and play video games all day. Or you see 2-year-old kids in a shopping cart at the store holding a tablet. It makes my mind want to blow up. Kids are being exposed to so much EMF. It's not good to your body. Kids need to be outside with their feet on the ground, grounding to the earth. Kids are meant to be outside. Humans are meant to be outside. And we've got to start taking care of our bodies so we can get back to feeling our best, and feeling our best enough so we can get back to making our planet the way that it should be. It should be. Mother Earth deserves it. You deserve it. Your children deserve it. Your grandchildren deserve it. But one of the problems that's happening is we're having a lower rate of fertility. And the reason that is happening is because these toxins that are being introduced into our personal care products, they affect the estrogen. The estrogen levels in our body are also what affects so many processes in our body. Your whole adrenal system runs off of hormones. Your sex organs, For men, when you start getting older and you start having prostate problems, your testes start shrinking. They shrink because your testosterone, you're drying up. Your enzymes are not working the way they should. Ladies, your hair starts getting thin. Your skin starts getting dry. Then you start piling on the cream, right? We start piling on the cream because we're so dry. And we get dry in other places too, you know what I mean? And you're thinking, oh gosh, and then we're going to the doctor because we're like in menopause. We can't sleep at night. We're hot. You know, it's like, what is going on? It's because our glutathione is not working to its ability. You know, we're putting too much toxins in our body. Our phosphorus levels are elevated. You know, we're eating too much processed food, not enough natural stuff, and we're not getting the nutrition that we need. You know, how many of you would just rather sit down and eat a big old steak instead of a bowl full of pinto beans? Or, you know, a lot of people say, hey, I just want steak. Right. And most people do. But we also have to think about how much steak we can eat before we kill ourselves eating steak. You know, I don't know, but I just got tired of being tired. And then I lost both of my siblings within a 3-year period. And I'm the only one left. And it really made me sit back and think, okay, am I going to make it to my next birthday? What is happening here? What is happening here? And I have been, over the last 18 years, trying to get my health in order. I was morbidly obese. After I had my twins in 2006, I weighed 330 pounds. We took our kids to the park when they were babies. We laid them on a blanket, and I could not get up. I could not get up off the ground by myself, and I was so embarrassed and humiliated. I decided then and there that I was not going to keep punishing myself by eating the wrong things. And so at that point in time, I made up my mind to change my life, and it has taken me a long time. And I have been through a lot with my health. I have been sick for a long, long time. I was sick for a long time. I even spent years having seizures. I was diagnosed with epilepsy in 2008. And I had seizures for years. I also suffered from chronic pain. And I see neurologists and doctors and so many specialists and surgeons. I've had back surgery 2 times, but that was not related to my eating habits. But I don't think that helped my health either, because when you have injuries, that can impact where your body is sending things. So if your body's not working to start with the right way, and first of all, if you are obese and you suffered a traumatic event, it triggers a response. A traumatic event can trigger a response in your body. And right off the bat, that's your adrenal system, your response system to trauma. One of the main things causes in children is obesity. Now, there are a lot of other factors, but there is a study that in overweight, when you have morbidly obese adults that seek out an option of bypass surgery for their obesity because they have unsuccessfully tried every diet, they are referred to a psychiatrist for an evaluation. And those doctors came up with an unbelievably high number of these patients that were subjected to some sort of traumatic sexual experience as a child. and it was above 80%. It was between 80 and 100%, which was startling. I couldn't believe the number. But this just goes to show that so many people are dealing with trauma. And when children deal with trauma, they want to medicate just like an adult does, just like an adult that is an addict or an alcoholic or anything else, any kind of addiction. There is a reason behind it. There's a seed behind it, and we have to get to the seed. And it's called shadow work. It's called shadow work. And we all have to do our shadow work, but it's so important to take care of our health and nourish our health so we can get a clear mind, and then we can have a healthy body so we can do all of these things together. While we're changing what we're putting in our body, we're also changing our mindset, and we're engaging with nature. And then we're thinking about we're just being more mindful, and we're eating consciously. We're being more mindful of being happy and having good, positive thoughts of where we want to go, where you want to go, you know, what you want to accomplish, how you are determined. Just have a mindset that I'm determined that tomorrow I'm going to be even better. I am going to be even better, and I am going to be improving every single day. I'm going to have my full vitality back. I am going to completely obliterate my chronic pain, and I'm going to immerse myself more in nature and people, and I'm going to work on being more mindful and grateful and loving, and I'm going to facilitate love because I'm going to just give it away without thinking about it, and love is going to mirror itself right back in wonderful ways. What I appreciate you spending 37 minutes with me this morning. I know that it was a lot, and it kind of turned into a rambling. I was going to do 2 separate videos on it, but I just went ahead and put them together. And I want to tell you that I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this, and I hope that you're open-minded and that you're willing to just look at yourself and, look at yourself with love and not with judgment. And when you look in the mirror and say, you know what? I am amazing, and I am always a work in progress, and I'm getting better every day. And let's reach out to other people that are doing their part too, so we can start putting all the puzzle pieces together, so we can figure out how we can work all this stuff out, how we can all be better, we can all be happy, we can all be helping each other, support each other, right? Clearing out all this brain fog so we can get back to our authentic creative selves, and we can clean up Mother Earth just by starting to supplement our own foods, growing our own foods, and getting involved in our communities. That helps Mother Earth right there. Not only is it helping the planet, but it's also helping the vibration, the energy, because we're affecting other lives in positive ways. With that note, thank you for watching my videos. And you may not be here today, but we are all here in today, tomorrow, and the future, all at the same time. So when you come here and your frequency is tuned in to receive this message, we'll be here right now. Today, tomorrow, and in the future, we'll be here. We'll be here. And I thank you for being here and watching Sacred Enzyme. Have a great day.